Alright, welcome back. For this video, this is the last time that I'm going to show you specifically how to activate your virtual environment. Just because for the rest of the videos, I just kind of want to start off from inside the Django directory on my virtual environment so I can just jump straight into coding. So again, I go into whatever directory that I have my virtual environment listed at. Here's mine, the proj environment, so project environment, abbreviated a bit. And I'm just gonna go into there. I'm gonna go into the scripts and I'm gonna run the activate.bat. I have my project environment. The name of the virtual environment preceding my command prompt here. I can confirm that by doing pip freeze and seeing that I have Django 1.10.2 installed. I'm going to cd up one and go into my tutorial directory. Again, remember, whatever folder holds your manage.py, throughout this tutorial, I'm going to refer to that as your project's root level directory. And then this other tutorial directory, where your settings.py lives, I'm going to refer to this as your project's configuration directory. And that's exactly because settings.py is your all the configuration settings for your project. Alright, I'm going to go back up to our project's root level directory. Again, that's where manage.py lives. And there's a few commands I want to run. The first thing I want to do is anytime you start a project, Django has a lot of information models that it needs to throw into a database. And to first initialize your database, you're going to run this. It's going to say python manage.py, and we're going to say migrate. So what migrate does is there's some migration files which hold all this information, and what all these are correspond to specific database entries. Now, when you run migrate, it runs all those migration files and populates all the changes in your database for you. So you don't need to manually go into like a MySQL command line interface and create tables, update tables, change rows, change fields or anything. This will do everything for you. And we'll get a lot more into migrations here once we start creating models. Alright, so now that we've applied all these migrations, you should see all this that says OK. The next thing we need to do is create a super user. So python manage.py create super user. Your super user is really just like an admin. He has admin level access. So I'm going to say John. I'm going to leave this blank and just put some generic password in there for this. Alright, super user created successfully, so that's good now. The next thing I want to do is I want to run the server. It defaults to running on port 8000. You can, if you want, to change that port, but there's really no need to. Alright, so the way you access this, you can do it two ways. You can do localhost : the port number that you're running on, 8000. And you should see this page, it worked, right? You can also say 127.0.0.1 : your port number. Same thing. So really all this localhost says right here, it's kind of like a variable that means 127.0.0.1. Alright, so now that this worked, I'm going to close this and I just go with localhost. It's easier for me to type localhost in. We're going to go to our admin page, and you do that by just saying admin. So you'll get this Django administration username password. This username and password is your super user's username and password. So I had John and I had my generic password here. And here you go. So this is your Django administration panel. There's really nothing much here, because we haven't created applications, we haven't created models. There's really nothing going on in our project. We do have users. click on here, we do have our username is John. Notice the staff status is a, see if I can unclick that, there we go, is a green check mark. It means he has staff access. I could go in, I could put update things, so I could say, you know, John, let's put John with an H, and let's update this. So the username stays the same, but now the first name is saved. Alright, I wonder if we could actually change a username. I've actually never tried to change someone's username. So, we'll see if this works. I don't see why it wouldn't. There we go, yeah, so I actually changed the complete super user's username here. John with an H. You can set some permissions here. You can set some access levels and permissions. So for example, if I had someone working on my project that I only wanted working on a certain app, I could come down here and I could give them all the permissions for that certain app. Like they can add user, change user, delete user. Maybe I want them to be able to add an instance of an object to the app, change an instance of the object to the app, or delete an instance object to the app. And that's all I want them to do. I don't want them to have any other access. So you can set that here. This, if you just want to look at it, it shows you the last time anyone was logged in. So if you're if your teammates are telling you they're working on your project, and you can log in here and see the last time they logged in and they haven't in forever, well, yeah, maybe you need to have a discussion with your teammates. But all right, so that is the Django administration app, or excuse me, the Django admin panel. We did the we created the super user, we did the migrations, and this is kind of really the very first first iteration of our project, where we just want to make sure that A, we can get this it worked screen. That means Django's working, and B, we can get an admin panel that we can log in and log out of, and that tells us our super user's working. So in the next videos, we'll, you know, build further and further and further upon what we have right now.